Y el que sea rima se muere, allá está lado. Si me casara algún día,
Roderick, you want to start us off?
Okay, we'll get started first of all. And my relationship with, first of all, got to thank Ensemble Español for bringing these wonderful folks in. So let's give Jorge and Kimberly and all the folks with Ensemble Español a hand. Oh. I work with Jorge. I'm the vice chair of the board of the Auditorium Theater, where we are proud to bring in Ensemble Español as often as we can. So I'm glad to be here with you all tonight. So I've got the first question. So for our artists, are they ready? You ready? Listo? Okay, ready? All right. I understand that creating integrated art in these genres is a new venture for the ensemble. But I understand that each of you have been working in this space for a while. So the question is, how do you prepare to work in this integrated space between cultures, music, and dance styles? That's the question. So Jorge will do the Spanish translation, of course.
So that's the question. ¿Cómo es la primera vez para el ensamble español integrar estos tipos de música y cultura? Y la pregunta es, ¿cómo se preparan ustedes para un evento así, cruzando, que digamos, las fronteras de la música y la cultura? We know, if you don't know, that Wendy Clinard has an amazing fusion, I know she doesn't like to call it fusion, but cross-cultural, amazing programs that she's done. And she's done it with blues. And Irma, my partner in crime, artistic director of the Ensemble Español, and Kimberly fell in love with that and were really transformed. And when we were thinking about this particular project, there was really no one other than to turn to than to Wendy. So Wendy, thank you so much for this. And perhaps you might be able to start us off. How do you prepare to work in an integrated art form like this?
By a lot of doing it. So even though the last about 3 years I've been working with King Musa, a rap artist, and Billy Branch, who's one of our beautiful blues legends here. Even before that, I was working with Son Jarocho artists. Before that, I worked with concert pianists doing like Stravinsky's Rite of Spring for four-hand. So it's sort of, I have a practice of when I get goose pimples, when I go out and see things throughout Chicago, saying, I wonder how, could something work? And sometimes it doesn't work also. But it's always a pretty magical thing in the rehearsals when, one example is like when King Musa, this rap artist, is doing a spoken word thing, and then immediately Diego would hear a certain flamenco rhythm, and then Billy Branch would find something in his pocket from the canon of blues. And it was seamless, it was easy. So a lot of practice, showing up, doing it, exchanging, listening, experimenting.
Awesome, great, thank you. Diego, I know that you were also a grand part of this particular artistic direction for this. How do you prepare for something like this?
Well, this is the stages where you know when a musician is a professional one. So, because we speak the same language, even in the different genders, it doesn't matter. Because we just need to know if everybody else knows their job, isn't any problem with that. We can match whatever we can match. We speak the same language, we are in the same page, so this is the real thing, because jazz and flamenco came from the same root in some way. Gypsies and black people, is the same thing. It's the same thing. We just need to find a spot where we can speak together. And actually, what you see was just a piece, a little piece of a huge dictionary that we can play a lot of stuff. We didn't have enough time to build a real thing. We have those. We spent a lot of energy just in one rehearsal to get together. But from the beginning of the idea that actually Kim proposed, that we were absolutely sure that we're going to be good. So because I have my partners in crime, José, Manuel, Alconchel, and Cachito, which is in the restroom because he have to be peeing. He deserved it, absolutely, yeah. I'm absolutely sure that what is gonna happen in the stage, and I was totally concerned about the quality and how special it's gonna be for you and for the audience.
Awesome, thank you. Thank you so much for that. And I think you've answered the description and the process towards working a project like this. So I'd like to refer to Jose and of course our tap ambassador here. Flamenco and tap are similar in the fact that they are percussive dance form. In your words, what are the similarities and difference between the two?
You want to start?
Sure. You want to start?
Sure, I'll start. Well, being flamenco, I think the similarities, one of the things is the soul behind it. One of the both coming from their own oppression and their own backgrounds, in form of expressing that soul into a body movement, into percussion. That I feel that I can't express it any other way. It's almost like that way of shouting, but in another form, you know, and not worrying about our techniques. Our techniques have so many similarities, including intermeshed. We have a lot of intermeshed techniques, and I mean, you should come Saturday as well because we're gonna see more of that. And definitely where I take stuff from tap, from great dancers that I've seen, take different ideas and bring it into my world. And I'm assuming that that's the same with each other. And the fact that for me, I think flamenco, if it doesn't have that soul, it doesn't roll, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I'm going to speak on a different aesthetic that you might have noticed. When you look at the ballet world and a lot of those forms that come out of Eastern European dance and genres, everybody almost looks the same, and there's this one body type and one body image. When I walked into this rehearsal and saw another big man like me, I said, oh, so that was another similarity that I wasn't even ready for. I'm like, we're going to do a tour. Kim Grigsby. The next version of this tour is going to be called Dance Heavyweights. But to that thing, when he started moving, I was like, how can he move that fast? And then at the same moment, I realized that's the same thing people be saying to me. So it was like this, this whole collaboration, this process has given me more family. I got more brothers and sisters. Mi hermanos y hermanas. And again, the experiences, like for me, that was an instant connection when we stepped into the studio. Like Kim Grigsby has been talking to me about this idea for 2 years. And if you look back at Kim came to my tap class and got me to listen to about taking tap class so she could tap a little bit. But she kept talking about it, and we, you know, schedules and world-class musicians and dancers. And when we finally came together, it was like magic. I've been a kid in a candy store for 2 weeks. Like I love what I do, so I enjoy every gig I do, but this one, man. Anybody who sat over there next to me, I'm sorry. I was in your ear the whole show. And I've seen it. So I think that's where it lives. When you tap into, pun intended, when you tap into the spirit of the dance and what moves you from within, then the collaboration comes out pure.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that, Roderick.
we were gonna. You've already spoken about the universality of art, and I'm gonna jump to my next question. Bril mentioned this was only 2 weeks, right? And if you had more time, what else would you like to do as part of this wonderful global collaboration? Okay.
On the world.
And you want to say, and we want to also hear from everyone as well. So if you want to translate as well, Jorge.
Sure. La pregunta es si tuvieran más tiempo, ¿qué más pudieran ustedes explorar a través de las diferentes culturas, sea musical, artística? ¿Qué más pensarían ustedes que les gustarían hacer?
Well, this is a wonderful collaboration. I don't know if you know, but our part of this show is part of the CJP Chicago Jazz Philharmonic, Albert Davis. And we've been working in this style that is called third stream. There's actually a combination. It's not a combination. It's a really a new type of music combining, if you want to call, classical music and jazz. But during a period of almost more than 10 years, we've been crossing different styles of music. So we were doing different concerts, always mixing with jazz music, of course, but doing, Japanese music. We did Indian music, music for different parts of the world. When we had this opportunity to join this wonderful flamenco, band, group, we say, well, we need to keep going with this. This is wonderful. And picking up on what Diego was saying, so we will need more time, more time together to just explore all these connections that are in between this music. Like Bril was saying too, it's all about the soul. It's all about the same roots or the same rhythmic parts. So everything is getting together. And when you have a groove like it's happening, everything is easy. So everybody grooves in the same way. And all this music comes from the same source. So mostly African, of course. So but it comes from there. So Ernie Adams and Stuart Miller, from our group. So we and me, we are the reading section of the CJP, and we would love to keep working with this group. So it would be wonderful, to explore more. I don't know if you know, but we have just one rehearsal together. So, like Diego said, everybody knows what we have to do, but we need more time just to enjoy ourselves also, and grow, all this wonderful music that we can do together.
Yeah. Thank you. I also want to say, I'm sure this project would hold the same sort of potential, but in the collaborations I've done in the past, and I'll just refer back to the Musa stuff, when we go in and have a public that only wants rap or only blues, and then they see, it's been a really beautiful thing seeing how barriers get broken down. And especially with, young people are a hard sell. They're really hard. Can I get a witness? Yeah. They're hard. Man. But I will have teenagers say, what is that? What is that? Or just hearing the two languages together, it can be a really catalyst for larger conversations. Starting to look at the letras, the verses. Like Bril said, looking at the roots of where they come from. Giving ownership to the dancers, inviting them in, welcoming them in. So, it has the potential to be a performance, but also a tool for educating, for connecting people through art. I know we do it in higher ed, but we saw it this summer in Back of the Yards when we were out. It was beautiful, people coming out of their porch and, what is that? What is that? So I'd like to keep, having something right away, what is it, and then immediately engage them. That's kind of big on my heart right now. And I also want to say, when you said family, I'm with you on that. And some of the inspiration are relationships, too, in Chicago. So sometimes the relationships that you make with people are the seed for a creative thing.
That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Yes. What we'd like to do, we'd like to open it up to our audience members to if you have any questions to any of the artists or the art form itself. I mean, we can definitely all agree we just saw art today in this collaboration. Yes, Arte was presented here tonight, so thank you all so much. But any
Any burning questions? There's there's hands everywhere. I'm gonna go with you right here with the white top on. Please, if you could stand so we could hear you. Because we can't pass the mic around everybody.
I'll be loud. I use my Boricua voice. So I was, you didn't pass it to me. We did. All right, so I really love the interplay between the dancer and musician when there was a call and response. And I'm curious about whether that was choreographed or whether it was improvised or both, and what it was like for the dancer and musician.
For this show, it's absolutely improvised.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, for this show, it's absolutely improvised. Of course, we get a couple of breaks on it, but mostly it was like, just follow me and I get it. So percussions like me, we have been my whole life working for dancers. I raised into the flamenco as a percussionist for dance and for dancers. So I'm a kind of repetidor? Yeah, how do you say that in English? A copycat. So, because my work is learn the entire choreography to see what can I do with it? How can I help the dancer to be better or sound better, again, some effects or whatever. So in the middle of 90s in the flamenco, the cajon was pushing into it that kind of effort into the choreography. So I can see how the dancers want and what they need from me. So it's my natural state of mind over there. So, but mostly when they start to improvise, I feel absolutely comfortable because I know what they're doing. It's like a Wi-Fi signal or something like that.
Awesome, thank you. Answered your question, yes? Another question.
Can I add on to that very quickly? Absolutely. I just want to add on to that. The responses you saw to some of the notes he was playing on that trumpet, that's why you know it was improvisation, because I never heard him play that before. So we were going back and forth, and then he hit something, I'm like, yeah, so it's totally improv, and because of that, in the moment, we're surprising each other. So it keeps it fresh. That's all.
Question.
Yes, thank you so much. I first wanted to say this is awesome. And I'm so glad to even be able to kind of witness this sort of expression. So my question was, for the dancers, seeing this kind of interplay between the band and you guys and seeing the improvisation, it's so great. I wanted to know how early on in your life you saw or were exposed to this kind of expression and knew that you wanted it to become part of yours.
Well, I think my first experience with improvisation or those situations is I messed up. Yeah. I completely messed up, and I was like, where do I go now? And that basically started my journey on improvisation. I think that is a major tool to get you out of a problem. Absolutely. So you're like, okay, let's try to fix it, and have nobody notice. Yeah. But yeah, definitely. I started my journey in dance pretty early, along with my mother. My mother's a flamenco dancer, and basically got brought up in dance and flamenco my whole life, and as well as my dad. And basically, improvisation started. Again, you learn your choreographies as set tools, as your foundations to say, okay, we're going to repeat sections, until basically I knew it well, and I said, well, how about if I try this now instead of that? And I would start involving myself into that section, and just improvisation became a game to me where I enjoy it. I love to see what you can do over what they're playing, your superimpositions, your this. It just starts going infinite. And again, it's another expression. Once you get to that place that you're comfortable, you're just breathing along with the groove, with every other musician, you're all breathing together. And it doesn't matter what you do, like Diego said, I mean, I could do something, he's with me. Like, it's like we're thinking all in the same vibe, you know. But yeah, that's one of my journeys.
Mm-hmm. I would just say, very much so. I started in a dance school where I learned routines and I learned to follow. And then I met a gentleman street performing in Chicago in the subway named Mr. Taps. And he allowed me to dance with him, and that began my journey of improvisation. And very much so, when I would go out there, I would do a routine. And then I would forget the next part of the routine, and I would just make it up until I could remember. And little by little, the making up part got better and longer and more. And so now, I don't know any way else to be. I suck at choreography, by the way. I'm not going to even...
I was a very sensitive child, so the arts were always a safe place. So I think it was always art, but what way and what direction has always been wiggly. And I was living in New York, and I was a painter, serious. I'm always very serious painter, drawing a rehearsal, but my body started to get hot, really hot. And so I kept drawing, and the drawings were corny, and what I was seeing was really waking me up, quite literally and figuratively waking me up. And so that would, like about 7 years in, I realized I was dancing much more than painting. And I think that also is why the idea of sound and image and things juxtaposed next to each other has always been like, again, a long practice. I'm 53, so I've been doing it for a long time. That next to that sound. Do you want to, Leandro?
Well, I don't know. I agree with everything that was said, but but you know, improvisation is what that's a really good point. So improvisation is what makes everybody together, because everybody knows how to improvise. So and that's and it's an art form. So people think, we're going to improvise. No, it's not like that. So it requires a lot of work before you actually improvise. And you learn different techniques, you get into the music, into the feeling and everything, and then that comes out in your improvisation. But the beauty of the improvisation is that happens in that moment. And like Bril was saying, could be good, could be bad. Yeah. So, but that's the risk that we take, and it's worth it to take it, because it's you know, it fills your soul. Mm-hmm. Before I don't know if we're going to be finished or not, but you know, I really feel bad that Victor is not here. Victor Garcia is just an amazing trumpet player. What he was doing tonight is unbelievable, because he covers everything that we do, and with just one rehearsal. And then, you know, join the flamenco group, playing with the flamenco group. He's a wonderful player.
And he chose the worst instrument in the world, which is, after the violin, is the trumpet.
About to wrap up, actually. We're done? Okay. Are you sure? Okay.
Yes.
We know the hour is late, so we know where Kimberly Grigsby said it's time to wrap it up. So I don't know, but Jorge, Kimberly, y'all figure it out.
We're good.
Let's give him a hand.
Oh, Victor.
Take a bow. Okay. Kimberly Grigsby says we got to wrap up, because Old Town's like...
she's got a question.
Okay.
Let's give her a question.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Last question. Hopefully we can stick around after this for those who want to say. Last question.
Yes, this is La Lupi, who will be performing for you all on Saturday, straight from Malaga.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, don't speak English.
Yeah.
All right?
No, go. You're Lupi English.
No,
try
me vas
it.
a traducir.
No, you've been doing great all 2 weeks. Go for it.
No, yo desde aquí. Primero, dar la enhorabuena a todos mis compañeros. Soy unos monstruos y me lo he pasado genial. Traduce.
First of all, I want to congratulate all of the artists here. You are all monsters, but monsters in a good way, yes? And that she's had an incredible time.
Las dos modalidades de danza y de música que se pueden improvisar en el mundo es el jazz y el flamenco.
So one of the two genres per se that you can combine and unite in this way is the jazz and flamenco. They play a similar role in what she's saying with the improv.
Que nadie se equivoque y piense que eso es fácil.
That no one, please understand that this is not simple.
Esa improvisación nace a partir de la intuición.
That improvisation is born out of intuition.
Es la intuición musical.
It is the musical intuition within them.
No es nada fácil.
It is not simple.
Las expresiones del baile, de
The-
tap, gospel, jazz y flamenco nacen desde la música.
She says that the expressions of both jazz and flamenco are born from the sound, the music.
She said tap too.
Oh, and tap too.
No,
I heard it.
And tap too.
no nacen solo por querer expresar tus sentimientos.
They're not born just to express your sentiments, your feelings.
Todo el mundo cuando empieza a bailar piensa que tiene que expresar sus sentimientos.
Everyone thinks that when you start to dance, it's about expressing your emotions, sentiments.
Si esos sentimientos no se filtran a través de la música, eso no es nada.
If the sentiments are not filtered through the music, that's not truthful, that's not it.
Y tengo la necesidad de que todo el público se acerque muchísimo a la música, porque todos los que bailamos a través de ella.
She says that everyone in the audience, she'd love for you all to definitely infiltrate yourself to the music, because that's pretty much what unites us, los une a nosotros, ¿no?
No, que cuando se quiere empezar a bailar,
When you want to start to dance,
se tiene que escuchar mucha música y mucho compás.
you have to listen to a lot of music, a lot of rhythm.
No se puede ser solo a través del movimiento corporal.
It's not just about the movement per se, but it's connected with the music.
La bulería la tocaba do. Papa, 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 papa. It's perfect. It's perfect. All right? Él escucha la música. Y eso es lo más importante dentro de todas las modalidades de danza. Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Lupi. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Everyone, let's give another round of applause to our amazing artists this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you. We do want to thank our tech crew, Sarah. We also want to give a shout out to the Old Town School of Music.
Thank you, Old Town.
Their staff, thank you. Ensemble Español, we also want to thank our staff. On behalf of my partner, Irma Suarez Ruiz, we thank you, and we hope to see you on Saturday, por favor. Sí.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much, everyone. Gracias.
All right.
Thank you.